the United States and Israel attacked together. They killed Iran's top leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. After that, the situation in the Middle East got out of control. His death did not break Iran's will to fight back. Instead, it made people in Iran want to resist even more. Before this, no matter how hard they fought, Israel just needed to say it, wanted peace talks. Then Iran would go back to the peace talks table. But later, Israel would attack Iran again suddenly. They targeted Iran's leaders and the Houthi movement's leaders. But killing Khamenei in this air attack changed everything. It ended the cycle of attack peace talks in the Middle East. People in Iran now hate Western countries more than ever before. The people who wanted to make peace have no say at all. One interesting idea is that Khamenei chose to die on purpose. It sounds silly, but let me explain. Khamenei was 85 years old. He was going to die soon anyway, but he was killed by enemies while he was the top spiritual leader. This made him a martyr who dies for his beliefs. Before he died, Iran's economy was bad. People were unhappy. Many thought he was too soft to foreign enemies. He was not a good leader. But after he died, people remember him as a good believer. They see him as someone who fought hard and a sacred martyr. We all know Iran has many spies. Many of them have high positions in the government. These spies gave important information to Israel. This helped Israel attack Iran's top leaders and their allies. These spies are deeply rooted in Iran's government. It is very hard to get rid of them. But when Khamenei was killed, more than 40 senior officials also died. Khamenei's son became the new top leader later. This happened because Khamenei became a martyr. If we put all these clues together, we get a surprising conclusion. Khamenei gathered the pro-American spies around him. It was hard to prove they were spies. He called them to a very dangerous place for a meeting. By dying, he became very respected. He got rid of these pro-American spies, and he made his son the new top leader, even though it was not the usual way. Since then, Iran has stopped trying to have peace talks. The people who want to fight have full control. If this is true, it may be the smartest plan in international politics in recent years. All right, we seem to have strayed off topic. No matter what the truth is, we must focus on what is happening now. To avoid Israel's strong ability to target and eliminate key figures, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian has ordered power to be given to Iran's 31 provinces. This will greatly reduce the impact on Iran's military's ability to resist. Since Khamenei was killed, Iran has launched a retaliation campaign called True Promise 4. It has fired more than 50 rounds of missiles in counterattacks. These missiles and drones have bombed 27 U.S. military bases nearby, 2 embassies, the U.S. Air Force Command in Bahrain, and many radar stations. Iran's counterattack has surprised everyone. The United States has moved the THAAD system from South Korea to the Middle East. This system was originally used to monitor China. Before this, the interceptor missiles stored in South Korea were also sent to the Middle East. In a world where the US and China are competing, this means a lot of military equipment has been taken from US, bases in Europe and other places. With the war in Ukraine, US military equipment stockpiles may be much lower than anyone thinks. However, Israel is much smaller than Iran. Israel will face a survival crisis unless the US sends strong ground troops, unless the US no longer sees Israel as a core interest. After many rounds of mutual attacks, Iran and Israel no longer only target military sites. Many civilian facilities have been badly damaged. These include water desalination plants, oil storage facilities, and power facilities. Israel may not be able to wait for the US for much longer. At the same time, Iran's blockade of the Strait of Hormuz has caused an equally urgent problem. The narrowest part of the strait is only about 30 kilometers wide. Iran only needs a small number of cheap mines or shells to block it. It is well known that controlling oil made the US the world's only superpower. If the US cannot use its military to guarantee this, potential enemies will no longer fear it. Iran's blockade of the Strait of Hormuz is affecting oil trade, but only using air force and missiles cannot defeat Iran's resistance. Iran has hypersonic missiles that can fly at 8 times the speed of sound. It also has technology to make cheap drones. Iran has a relatively complete industrial system. It can make most of its own military equipment. This is different from many of America's past enemies. Those enemies could only buy military equipment from other countries. Besides, Iran has been preparing for this crisis for more than 20 years. It is a strong enemy. But now, to protect Israel, to take back control of oil, and to stop other countries from thinking a medium-sized country can make the US military helpless, the US may have to risk sending ground troops. Only in this way can it truly defeat Iran and keep its status as a superpower. I know many people will say I'm wrong. They'll argue Trump was just fooled by Netanyahu, that Trump doesn't really want a long war with Iran, and that the US Congress will correct his mistakes. I believe all that is true. But this war has already touched America's core interests. The opposition has different interests from Trump, but both sides live in the US. They can attack Trump by any means, but they can't ignore America's interests. This war, started by Trump's recklessness, has hit America's most vital interests. Whether they like it or not, compromising with Iran now would cost the US dearly. If the US launches a ground war in Iran, it could get stuck in a long, costly conflict. And don't forget, China and Russia are in the Far East. If the US loses its competition with China because of Iran, it will stand to lose far more. What choice will the US make? We'll keep watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button.